Hey, it's Tieesha, and I am all packed up. All my stuff is behind me. I am hitting the road to drive across country again. But this time, I am not coming back to Washington. F-word Washington. I'm never coming back. So I'm going to document this journey across country. I'm going to tie in some of the footage from last year's journey across country, answer some questions or, just some thoughts and, document this. I am headed to Atlanta, Georgia. Someone on Facebook guessed it this morning. I'm like, oh my gosh. I've been putting posts on Facebook about Georgia being on my mind. Like, oh my gosh, I may be here in Washington physically, but my mind and my heart is, half my heart is in Atlanta, the other half of my heart is in Virginia. So I'm getting closer and my hearts can be as one. I have all of my stuff here with me. The rest of my stuff is in the back of a tractor trailer. Hope you watch my video on moving across country and you'll see how I did that. Here in the car with me, what I am drinking, this is going to be my first drink. This is like a protein, it's a chocolate veggie based protein drink and it has some caffeine in it, so I'm drinking that. And then this here in this cup, this is a blend of water and sweet tea. Yes, I'm going to the south to get some sweet tea, baby. Yeah, just have my purse, some glasses, just everything I would need up here. People laugh at me because I still buy CDs. Yes, I do, because on this journey, I have about 40 hours on the road. So it comes a point in time where, stuff like that happens. But you get tired of XM radio, it ain't playing nothing, and you can put in a CD and listen to some old jams, and you'll be good to go. So in the CD player right now, I have David Banner, Baptized in Dirty Water. So yeah, everything is in here with me, and I'm out. Let's go. Goodbye, Washington, forever. Now, this is a story all about how this place called Bremerton had me all the way messed up, okay? I am driving out of Bremerton, finally, and I got the idea to kind of record that, but talk to you and just tell you why I don't recommend anyone, especially if you're a black person, coming to live in Bremerton, Washington. I don't recommend Washington, period, for anybody. Starting out, like, people ask, well, Tieesha, how did you end up there? I ended up here because I was married to a sailor, and when we were in Pearl Harbor, his submarine came up here to be decommissioned. It came up here to die, pretty much. And pretty much up here, this is the place of broken dreams. This is where a lot of people do come to die, unfortunately, because there is a high rate of suicides here in Bremerton. I hear stories all the time about, people, finding bodies. They went to a scene of a suicide, and pretty much a lot of the stories that I heard, the common denominator is people would go and get a case of Rainier beer, drink the whole case, mix that with some drugs, and just die in their sleep. Quite sad, and my condolences to the families and whatnot. Got like a speed thing going on, so yeah, State Patrol wanna do what they do. But anywho, yeah, up here it looks just like this. You see these clouds, the sun comes out for a hot minute, it just precipitation all the time, and it's not just like a thunderstorm or nothing like that. It's just it a very drizzle to whatever, a mist to a heavy fog to pouring down raining to a bit of sunshine, all in a stretch of like a mile. Like, you are trying to figure out how to adjust your windshield wipers the whole time. So my experience here in Bremerton, I met a good brother when I first got here, and we eventually worked together. And the brother told me, like, look, I'm trying to get up out of here. I kind of suggested you do the same. And I'm like, I got you. I'm gonna, try to do what I can, because the job I had, it was just strictly survival. I had no loyalty or no plans to retire at this job, nothing, because when I first went in there, I saw it was chaos. But that'll be another video, because I know a lot of the trolls, they waiting on me to say something about it, because they know they did me wrong. So, we'll go ahead and save that for another video. Go ahead and thumbs down the video with your hate. But this place, Bremerton, Washington, this whole area, okay, it's in the county of Kitsap. that's after Chief Kitsap with one of the Native American tribes up here. And so because it's Kitsap, it's nicknamed Kidnap County because you really feel like you got kidnapped and brought here. And it's just an attitude, like many non-black people I encounter, you know, white people, kind of act like they never saw black people before. They were so freaking rude to me. Now, I'm not saying everybody was, but it was enough to where I'm like, I don't belong here. I don't want to be here. This place sucks. It's terrible. And I'm going to try to get out of here. And I was always on high alert all the time. All the time. And for instance, when I would go somewhere, or let's say I'm in a store and I'm coming down the aisle and a white person is coming down the aisle, they'll just do a real out of nowhere, open mouth, hard cough, like, you know, like that. And my mom taught me when I was younger that, you know, bigots do that, you know, just to be rude and show that, you know, you're not welcome. And that happened to me a lot. I was at the Fred Meyer in Bremerton, and I'll be in the aisle, you know, trying to get something or looking at something on the shelf, and there's about a 1 foot gap between me and the shelf. I'll have some rude ass person bogart their way, step in front of me, or like reach around me, just so freaking rude, you know, and they just think nothing of it. And I'll have people just stare at me, you know, just out of nowhere, like, what are you looking at? You know, just, it made me so uncomfortable, and I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. And you know what, I felt the same vibe. That's why the 2 times I went up to Vancouver, I have that video, the 2 videos on my channel. I'll link those in this video so you can watch them. And it was just the same thing, like rude ass people in Vancouver, British Columbia, just rude as fuck. And I'm trying to say a bad word. Rude as I don't know what in Vancouver. So I'm like, this is some bull. Come to find out, I was talking with a good friend the other day. Shout out Kate baby. She was like, yeah, that is the common attitude, you know, especially it's like the Canada attitude bleed down into this area. And that's why I really did not like being in Seattle a whole lot, because Seattle, people are just really, really rude. It was kind of like a New York, like a Manhattan vibe, where people just about their own business, you know. And I'm not saying that's everybody, but just the rudest behavior you can think of, it was common practice here in Washington. And especially for me, because it's definitely a culture shock, because I would come here and I'm used to, like, you know, Midwest, Southern hospitality, courtesy, things like that. No, especially, I'm not saying all. Now, the thing of it is, if I say something, don't take it as I'm saying everybody in blanketing. But I'm just saying the majority exhibited this behavior, especially black males. And the majority of the black males who are here, they have some kind of ties to the military. And what I've noticed with a lot of the black males that I came encounter with, I was used to, you know, Southern gentlemen, you know, when they see you, it's an instant family connection. Negative. Because I guess because I'm not a white female, they just treat me like the scum of the earth. If I even speak to them, like, I expect, you know, where I come from, brothers speak to you first. Black men speak to you first. Nope, not around here. When I speak to them, like, hey brother, how you doing? They about jump out their damn skin when I speak to them. As far as culture, like me, I grew up with culture. You know, we just didn't, you know, I mean, once I joined the military, you know, it's celebrated that you know, observe other people's heritage and stuff like that. But I find it, being a black woman, you know, things of my culture, embracing my ancestors, my history here in America and in Africa and all over, it's not celebrated here. Like, it's really hard to, you know, find a African culture store, things like that. And if so, I gotta travel way out yonder to get to it. There was a situation where I had to call out some bigots a couple times, and the more unapologetic I was and the more I stood up for myself, I became nigga or a bitch or nothing, but I know they do it behind my back. And you know what? That's perfectly fine, because I know you're going to say what you're going to say about me behind closed doors, but you're not going to bring that to my face. And that's why I advocate, you know, being a hard target up here. Speaking of being a hard target, now right now we're in Port Orchard, Washington. We just passed Shelton, Washington. And I picked up this book called Sundown Towns by James Loewen. And come to find out the history of this area, all of this was a sundown town. Like, black people and Asians were not welcome here at all. And if you don't know what a sundown town is, it's an area where it's white by design, okay? And if you're not white, you got to get your ass out of town by sundown, or the lynch mobs, the Klan, even law enforcement would support and cover up you being lynched, beaten, all types of crimes, because you're in the wrong part of town. And as you see right here, we're coming up on Gig Harbor. But all this is a sundown town, and Bremerton, Washington is like the butt crack of the United States. This is the most horrible place. Even people I meet who are from Washington, they say Bremerton is the worst. If the military wasn't there, that place would go under. It will go under. It is horrible. That place thrives on the military's business. This is the worst place. And the thing of it is, when you go and report it, don't nothing happen. I reported the shit in the workplace. Nothing happened. You know, it's like a welcome behavior. It's like, oh, when you report it, it's like, oh, next time be more subtle with it. Don't be so overt, you know. And it really pissed me off. And, you know, I came in racism, white supremacy on my own. But goddamn it, while I was here and while I'm alive, I'm gonna take some chops at that bigoted tree in hopes that one day Babylon will fall, okay? And I advise you, don't be a punk or nothing like that. Speaking of vibes, here the vibe is just off. And I want to let you know, especially being black people, you will know where you're welcome. You will know where you will thrive. You know where you belong. We are a tribal people, and we're not meant to be isolated and alone. And that's exactly what I've been going through up here, just kind of isolated and alone. Now, I have people who've been there for me. You know, I love it and I so appreciate it. However, the vibe is just off, and it's not with me. A lot of other, you know, black people say the same thing. The vibe is off. Something is off up here. This is not my forever home. And they're absolutely right. They're absolutely true. So what I'm doing right now, I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. I'm never, ever in my life coming back to Washington State ever. I'm never even coming back to the fucking West Coast. I mean, that may sound far-fetched. I may go to California, but you know, that's pretty much it. But I will never come up to the Pacific Northwest, nor will I come up to Wyoming, Idaho, any of that. I will not. Nebraska, because all of this has histories of sundown town, and when you're not hip to the game, it'll go right over you. Like, you'll think there's something wrong with you because, you know, like, oh my gosh, let me pray, they're not accepting me, and it's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Your intuition, your inner vibes, your consciousness, everything is telling you you need to get the hell out of Dodge for your safety, you know. And it's going to do nothing but eat at you. You're going to self-destruct, and it's going to start showing. A lot of people try to cope with living up here. Unfortunately, some people are up here on military orders who don't want to be here. And unfortunately, you know, they have vices to cope. Me, I don't have any vices. I'm not really a big caffeine person. The only caffeine that I drink was right now on this road trip. But on the daily, I don't drink coffee. Like, I don't even have a coffee maker, and I just threw my coffee press away because I didn't use it. And I'm not saying it's a need, because you don't need a drug. If you needed it, you would have been born with it. But all it is just another vice to cope with being up here. And before I turn to any vices or anything like that, I'm just going to get the hell out of Dodge, which is what I am doing. So I am really, really excited. I'm really happy about leaving this shithole. This is a real shithole, and I'm happy to be on my way to, you know, to the life I once knew. Here I am singing Gladys Knight. I've been singing Gladys Knight for the last couple of days, because I am on this road to Georgia, baby, getting up out of here. I know that there's better, and I've been so patient, and the people are like, well, why don't you just leave? And I can't stand when people say, well, if you don't like where you're at, you can always leave. There's nothing keeping you there. There are no fences. And you know what? I just want to say to those people, motherfuck you, okay? Fuck you to the highest power. Because here's the thing, to relocate, okay? We are adults. We have responsibilities, you know, and if you don't work, you don't eat, or, you know, whatever. So it takes a while to get out of somewhere, but first you got to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that's I was sick and tired of being sick and tired in this motherfucker. So it took me a while. I was trying every day, you know, more and more, longer and longer. I mean, more hard work, different avenues, networking, and I just kept saying it every day. I'm getting the hell out of here. Eventually, I just kept waking up. The first thing I'll say when I wake up, I'm one day closer. I'm one day closer. I'm one day closer. One day closer. Not, oh, I'm still here. I just kept saying, I'm one day closer. And it was just beautiful. And I'm finally getting up out of here. And for the first time in my life, I'm going somewhere that I actually want to go. Because yes, I was born in Ohio, and the military sent me to Virginia. Being married in military orders sent me to Hawaii. And being married in military orders brought me to Bremerton. But now I'm actually going somewhere where I chose to go. I want to go here. I crave this. I am so excited to go. So right now I'm driving across the Tacoma Narrows Bridge for the last time. The first time I drove across this was on my birthday in 2017 when I was driving to Canada. Yeah, I took the long way to Canada then. But this right here is the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. And once I get to the other side, I will be in Tacoma. But I'm going to end this video and say I really appreciate and I cherish, you know, the growth that I went through here. You know, I really found my strength. I really earned the name Tough Cookie being here, because you just don't know how many days I had to go do the ugly cry, how many times I had to go toe to toe with idiots for dumb stuff. You just don't mother freaking know. And it just showed me, you know, everything I've been through in my life, you know, prepared me for this moment, and I'm doing nothing but getting better. And I'm really excited. So I am headed to, I have a 9-hour drive ahead of me, which is perfectly fine. I'm just taking this road trip, you know, 700 miles at a time. I'm not looking at the whole picture like, oh my gosh, I gotta drive 40 hours and 3,000 miles, you know. No, it's a little bit at a time, and I had this time on an open road to be in my thoughts, record videos and stuff like that. I'm really excited. I doubt if I'll stop too much. I know I'll see some new things, so if I get enough notice for a scenic point, I'll take some pictures. So make sure you connect with me on my other social media platforms. Check out my website. I'm going to be working on that nightly at my hotel, so that when I finally get to Georgia, you know, I can really get out there with some great people, network, support their platforms. Make sure you make some purchases off my website. You know, I don't have my inventory with me yet. It's in transit, but I will make sure I get those orders out. I appreciate everything. Thank you for rocking with me. And if you have questions about Bremerton and Washington, I just hope that you cancel those orders or change those